Hello and welcome to another video. I say another video, I should probably say a video because it's been so long since I've actually done an offline video of me talking to you guys. Plenty of live watch-alongs, but this has been a long time coming. And the videos will be coming thick and fast from now on. So do hit that subscribe. In fact, you know what? I need to earn your trust. So don't subscribe yet. Keep coming back. Keep looking to see if those videos are coming thick and fast. And if they are, then give me a subscribe. But I don't want to hold you to that yet. But today, we're looking at which players during these first two games under Amorim have earned their position. Now, we're going off a small sample size. Only 2 games. Not everyone is available. Yoro hasn't been available, obviously, just coming back from injury. You've got Kobbie Mainoo, who people will think will be part of Amorim's team, but hasn't had any game time yet. Harry Maguire, okay, less people think he's going to be part of the team, but hasn't had any game time yet. But for the players that have played, which of those have nailed on their position? That's what we're going to get into today. So, goalkeeper. Fairly obvious, this one. We haven't seen Bayendir. He hasn't completely tore up the rule book, Amorim. He's not gone and started with Bayendir. It's going to be Onana, and I don't need to explain much more, I think. I think he's had 2 games, Onana. One, he was played unbelievable. Perhaps, in fact, I think he was. He was man of the match against Ipswich. Kept us in the game, kept us 1-1. And then I thought he was absolutely dreadful yesterday. So he's had 1 great game, 1 poor game. This season he's been really good. I actually think yesterday was the poorest game of his season, but we don't need to go into any more details why. Onana will be Manchester United's goalkeeper moving forward, and I think he fits Amorim's system. You need a goalkeeper that's very good on the ball. Onana's very good on the ball. His shot stopping has got a lot better this season, so I'm happy, and I think Ruben is happy with Onana in goal. Oh. Centre-backs. These are the 5 players that we've seen in centre-back positions. We've seen Lisandro Martinez for basically a half of football. De Ligt has started both games against Ipswich and against Bodo Glimt. Luke Shaw we've seen for about a half of football as well. Johnny Evans we obviously seen start against Ipswich, and Mazraoui started both times in at that right centre-back position. So of the players that we've seen the most of, De Ligt and Mazraoui, there's only one player for me out of all of the centre-backs that have actually nailed on their position due to their performances in these last 2 games. And that's Mazraoui. He's been consistent throughout the entire season. You look at any match rating on any website, it is consistently above 7. He's been perhaps our best player this season. It's either him or Onana for me in terms of their levels of consistency. So Mazraoui has nailed on that right centre-back position. De Ligt, although he started both games, although we don't have many options for that central centre-back position, I don't think his performances have been good enough for me to say, yes, De Ligt will be our man for the future. I can see it happening, obviously. Do I think Maguire's going to come in and he has the attributes more so than De Ligt to fit a Amorim system? No. But I can't say for certain, based on the performances, that he's going to be happy with De Ligt and want him as his central centre-back for the rest of the season. So only one player out of those 3 centre-backs. Obviously, we've got Lenny Yoro to come, who is a very exciting prospect. Amorim has said that he's going to very slowly work him into the team. He's a young lad, obviously coming back from injury that was it was a break, wasn't it, in his foot? So we need to nurse him back. He is training with the full squad, and he's going to be, the cliche, he's like a new signing. Well, basically he is, because he hasn't played a single game for United. So he is a new signing. And we're going to see him sometime in December, hopefully. Probably towards the latter end, but he's getting his match fitness up. So there we go with the centre-backs. Only one, and that is Mazraoui. Wing-backs, these are the four that we've seen. We've seen Malacia and Anthony starting yesterday against Bodo Glimt. In the game before that, we had Delo and Amad. Anthony was disappointing last night. Nobody expected him to start, but honestly, when I seen his name on the team sheet, I was quite positive. I thought, okay, Anthony is a winger that he actually did work back a lot when he played on the wing, and that was a positive. Going forward, he was pretty bad, but he offered quite a lot covering defensively, tracking back. He did that. He did that more than when Rashford was off the right-hand side. He was probably our winger that tracked back the most. So I thought wing-back position, you don't have to be great in the tackle under an Amorim system at wing-back. You just have to be there. You just have to work hard going forward and back. And so these are the wing-backs. Obviously, I haven't included Luke Shaw here because first off, we haven't seen a single minute as Luke Shaw as a wing-back, and I think that's by design. In fact, Amorim said in one of his interviews, that I think the wing-back position for Luke Shaw is, it's too early for him, and he didn't say this, but this is my belief. I don't think he can do that. I think you require too much energy. I don't think he's got the stamina to constantly work backwards and forwards. So I think it's gonna be Luke Shaw in at that left centre back spot, which we saw on the previous slide. That's where he would slot in if he's going to get picked for an Amorim system. But these are the four wing backs, and I think two of them are already in, and obviously it's Malacia and Anthony. No jokes. It is Amad and Delo. Amad has played well both games. He came on in the second half against Bodo Glimt, played well. And again, Ipswich, it only took him a minute and a half to fly down the wing, take on two players, and the perfect cross in for lucky perfect cross, but to Rashford for the goal. I've been impressed with Amad's performances. I was impressed with Amad. He kept Ten Hag in a job for probably a couple more games longer than if Amad hadn't have played. So Amad's been playing well, and he's continued his form under Amorim, and I think he's nailed on that right wing back spot. Delo, on the other hand, it's nailed on just for the fact that we've got nobody else. We've got Malacia there. Like I said, Luke Shaw can't play left wing back. Mazraoui possibly could have played, let's say, Amad and then Delo on the left wing back position. That could be a possibility. But Mazraoui's played so well at right centre back, that means Delo's the only option there, because I don't want to play Mazraoui as a wing back when he's played so well at right centre back. And I think Amorim probably thinks the same thing too, because he's played Mazraoui right centre back in his first two games. So I think that's what he's thinking as well. So Delo, out of necessity, is in that left wing back spot, and that, out of all of the spots that I'm gonna say in Amorim's team that are secure, that is the only one that I think, okay, we need to change that as soon as possible. If we can in January, great. Even if it's just a loan signing, we need more cover there, and we need to improve the starting 11 there as well. So I am very tentatively putting Delo there out of necessity, but those are the wing back spots. Now I've called this, centre mids, number 6, holding midfield. It's then it's not really a number 6 position. It's not really a holding midfield position because, Amorim's system is so unique. I mean, we even see the centre-backs sometimes winning the ball in the final third, like pressing so high, pressing as a team. So, I mean, I'll call them centre mids. I don't feel comfortable saying these are number 6s because they're not holding midfielders that sit in front of the back 3. I'm going to call them centre mids. So we've got Ugarte, Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno. Obviously, Ugarte and Bruno started as the 2 centre mids in the previous game versus Bodo Glimt, and Casemiro, Eriksen started against Ipswich. Against Ipswich, we had mobility problems. Looking at the lineup, it's quite funny because stuff that we know as United fans, because we've watched them week in, week out, make these mistakes. We know some of the issues. We know the issues with Casemiro and Eriksen. Before the match, every United fan are like, I'm worried about that because I fear for the mobility, especially in an Amorim system. And we saw that. We saw the lack of mobility, and we saw in that first half Ipswich destroying us, really. Through the middle, and that's down to that lack of mobility. And it was much better against Bodo Glimt with Ugarte and Bruno, but I think only one position is nailed on. 2 people are nailed on, 1 position is nailed on, and that's Ugarte. Ugarte, if you were to ask me before, if Ugarte wasn't signed, okay, in the summer, if we knew in the summer we were getting Amorim, and you say, okay, you've got one in that midfield 2 spot, you can sign anyone in the world, it would actually be Ugarte if we knew Amorim was coming in, because he's played that position. PSG signed Ugarte based on how well he played in that system under Amorim. He's the perfect Amorim player for this position. And it's literally, it's worked out perfectly with Amorim coming in, and he's going to be such an important player for us, and he is nailed on. Now, the other player, I don't know, he will play. He is the captain, it's obviously Bruno, but I can't put him down here. I can't put him down in the next spot, but I know he'll play. So he's sort of a player that I know will play, but we don't know the position that he's going to play week in, week out yet. Or not even week in, week out, but if Amorim had to pick his best team, I don't think Amorim knows. He knows he'll pick Bruno. I don't think he knows whether he'd play Bruno in that deeper role or more advanced. Now, attacking mids, number 10s, left, right, forward, whatever you want to call it, you know the position I'm talking about. We've had Xerxes there, we've had Mount there, we've had Garnacho there, Rashford, Bruno. So, I think Mount played really well. He obviously started against Bodo Glimt. I think he was really positive, really high energy, obviously got the pre-assist. Ugarte got the assist, but for the third goal, it was a lovely little flick by Mount round the corner, and Ugarte runs onto it and puts a cross in for Højlund. I think his love of Mount, Amorim's love of Mount, is why Bruno may drop deeper. If Mount can stay fit, and this is a massive if, I think he'll be a really important player for Amorim. Do I think his position's nailed on? No. I mean, we've seen one game of football. He's not good. I don't think we've seen enough of him to play him week in, week out. He's also, who knows about his fitness at the minute. He's had quite a lengthy injury spell, so I don't think he can play week in, week out. Garnacho's played both games as well. I don't think his performances have been good enough to say he's a nailed-on spot. Xerxes, well, he started pretty poorly. Well, actually, no, the first game he started brilliant, the first 10 minutes. But since that, making starts when Højlund was injured wasn't great. Coming on as a sub, as an impact player, hasn't been great. Under Amorim, coming on, still hasn't been great. So I think he's definitely not nailed on. His future's not all over at United, by the way. I actually think that he's got more chance sort of as a number 10 under Amorim than what he would being a central striker for Ten Hag. More chance of slotting in the team, because it gives you the opportunity under Amorim's system to play both Højlund and Xerxes, which you didn't really get under Ten Hag. Rashford as well, he's played basically a game and a half. I don't think his performances were good enough, and I think we'll see in the next slide, obviously, when we talk about striker, what I think about him as a striker. But as an attacking mid, I think he is better suited to this position than a central striker. But he's just not shown. He's not shown enough. And Bruno, like I said before, he will be in the team, but we don't know whether he is going to be in this position or a slightly deeper position, given the two performances that he's had. We know he's going to be in who knows where. And finally, strikers. So we've had two people striker. I guess you could put Xerxes up there as well, but I don't think Xerxes as a central striker would work. I think it's more likely, if he gets in the team, is to be in that number 10 position. We've had Rashford and Højlund. Rashford in that first game obviously scored within the first minute, but after that didn't press with any intensity. We saw didn't hold the ball up brilliantly. Everything that United fans know about Marcus Rashford as a central striker, we've seen under Amorim, and Amorim's learnt that. That's what I'm saying. Amorim knows less about this squad than United fans do, because we've seen them week in, week out. We've seen the pain. We've experienced the trauma that Amorim was yet to experience. But he's got some understanding of Marcus Rashford up top by himself, and we saw the night and day difference between him and Højlund. And I think that performance was enough for Amorim to understand that Højlund needs to start. He is part of his best 11 as a striker. I think he's learnt not only by Højlund's performance, because he did a lot more of the things that Amorim wants, pressing really high, holding the ball up, clinical finishing. He did more of what Amorim wants in that game to make him pick him. But also, he's seen enough of Marcus Rashford in that position to know that that's not what he wants. So those two combined, I think Højlund is his central striker. And that means that this is the team that I think we've got nailed on positions for. Again, Delot is the tentative one. Delot is the tentative one at that left wing back that I think we need to rectify that as soon as possible. But for the time being, with the squad that we have, Delot is in there. But that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 6 positions that I think are nailed on. That is Amorim's best team in his best 11. And Bruno is a player that will play. We just don't know where. So that's 6 positions nailed on, 7 players nailed on for Ruben Amorim. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you did like the video, if you did disagree with me, leave it in the comments. If you did like the video, please like it. And of course, like I said at the start, you don't even need to subscribe yet. Don't subscribe. I need to prove to you that I can be consistent with my videos before you do that. But, bookmark the channel. Do something like that. Don't subscribe yet. And if I keep blasting out these videos, if you keep enjoying them, then hit the subscribe. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.